Welcome back, Bailey Carroll with another What the Puck podcast. Um, I think I need to go back in time a little bit and talk about something not too far, but something had happened. I received an email, and I questioned it. I didn't say anything to the person, but it just kind of caught me off guard a little bit, and I just kind of laughed about it. I had to tell my little brother about it. I had to tell my mother about it, funny enough, and they kind of just laughed about it as well. So, originally, I was born in Stoneham, Massachusetts. I grew up in Melrose, Massachusetts. It's a predominantly white, family-oriented town. It's one of those towns where it's kind of quiet, like no liquor stores, no McDonald's. We had one Dunkin' Donuts, and then a second Dunkin' Donuts opened up near the high school, and people lost their shit. But it's kind of like that. There's no hockey rinks. The town itself isn't really big on hockey, but it is and it isn't. Now, I played in the 90s, and that was the height of Patrick Waugh and, Joe Thornton and Pat Burns and all that stuff. So the Bruins were kind of still that shitty team coming out of the 80s. And then in the 90s, it was just, they fell off. They were flat. Cam Neely always hurt, all that shit. So hockey really wasn't that big. Basketball, easier to play, especially when you just have a hoop. Don't get me wrong. Every kid in Melrose played street hockey. So, but as far as ice, it was a little hard for kids. I knew plenty of classmates that would try to learn to skate and just can't do it. I am very, very lucky and blessed. My parents put me through hockey. I'll say that for the record. Very blessed. I talked to so many people on YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, even, goalies that I meet at the rink. And they're like, yeah, I started when I was 37. I started when I was 42. And I'm like, I'm 38 right now. I could never imagine trying to slap on a pair of skates and get on the ice, let alone trying to stop a puck with my face. It's amazing. And I give those people a lot of respect. Don't get me wrong. I just, I was always passionate about the game from a young age. And, my parents put me in youth hockey. And that's pretty much the bulk of my hockey career that I'm not ashamed of is within youth hockey. Now, was I the rich kid? No. My mom and dad both worked. My dad didn't do weekends. My mother would work 3 to 11, on weekends and stuff. So, they would come out to our games and they would drive, a decent amount. But, it's one of those things where, I'm not spoiled. My parents took really good care of us, made sure Christmas and birthdays, gave us the best equipment. And it wasn't even like, hey, Dad, I want the stick. It was, I had the start and lineup figures, and I would have hockey cards. And he knew who I liked, and he would just be like, okay, well, you know what? Sam likes Felix Popovin. Let's find him a Felix Popovin stick. And I never was like, oh, get me this, get me that. I was never that kid. Every kid is, but when it came to hockey equipment, it wasn't. My father would be like, my son needs the best. So, there's another story about that. So, back in the second grade, Miss Schmerrick, over at the Ripley School in Melrose, when it was a school, elementary school, that teacher hated me. Miss Schmerrick was, I don't know, a crazy, cat lady. She hated me because my house burned down, and that's another story altogether, but, her father, now, mind you, this is 92, 93. She said her father, and this lady was old as dirt by then. She's probably long gone. Her father died from he was a firefighter, and I guess he ran into a building or a house, and this is before they wore respirators, so this is a while back, and he died from smoke inhalation. So she always had it out for me because, you were in a fire, and whatever, fine. So anyways, we had a teacher assistant in the class. I won't mention names, but she was the wife of the guy that ran Melrose Youth Hockey. So, and this is 100% true story. I still remember the face she made. So she says to me, "Hey, I have some goalie equipment in my trunk you can have." And, she's like, "Follow me." And I remember, like, she has a son my age. And, I was like, "Oh, okay." So I legitimately walked out to her car. I think she might have been driving a Buick. Opened up the trunk. I mean, now I look back at it, I'm like, geez, I could have been freaking, like, molested or kidnapped. Why did I do that? I was by myself, by the way. This is after school. As the bell rang, she's like, "Follow me." And I followed her, and she opened up her trunk. She hands me these ultra soft Cooper gloves. They were gray and white. So I was like, "Yeah, sweet." So I walked home with my brothers and friends, and I was like, "Mom, Dad, look what so and so gave me." They know I'm a goalie now, haha. But I feel like they got offended a little bit. Like, our son's better. He's a goalie. He's better than used equipment. Even though, as of 2024, almost all my gear is used. Hey, trust me, the used market is good. But this is also in the 90s, and this is when I was first starting out. So I think my parents kind of were like, "No, we're not getting hand-me-outs." I had 2 loaner sets when I first started playing hockey, which one of them I still own to this day. But yeah, so that was pretty much the story about that, and that's when my father kind of really pushed me. I mean, I owned 2 black Cooper sets, and then I got the custom Simmons when I got a little bit older. So I'm bigger, obviously. So yeah, I got hundreds of stories with Melrose Youth hockey, but how it really boils down to is, it cost so much money, and it was very expensive. Even as a goalie, like, I still had to pay, like, the ice rentals. Like, we did practice 2 times or 3 times a week, and then on top of the games, travel, all that stuff. We really didn't do too many fundraisers. We did a couple tournaments, in-season tournaments. So it was always kind of like, I'm so grateful, and I thank my parents for putting the money and effort and time into my hockey career, even though I'm only in bear league. But that's how it was, and very expensive. It is expensive, especially where I'm one of 4 brothers, and we all played, and it was it was a little tough at times, but that's kind of like the sacrifice they made. So, like, around Christmas time, like, they would go around the room and be like, "Hey, what are you doing for Christmas?" Timmy would go, "Oh, I'm going to Florida." Or Danielle would go, "Oh, I'm going to Disneyland." And Nick over here was going to Universal. It's like, "What are you going to do, Sam?" "Oh, I'm in a hockey tournament during Christmas." And people just look at me like, "Wow, you got no life." It's true. I wasn't going to Disneyland. I wasn't going to Universal or Disney World. I was going to the rink. That's kind of the, Christ, I didn't fucking take a plane until I was 28 years old. I mean, I didn't go anywhere. Where am I going to go? Well, we can't afford air travel and fancy hotels and, fucking, the whole experience of Disney and all that shit. No, like, we got you great equipment. Get your ass on the rink. Play hockey. And I love that. That was amazing. It was fun. So I'll take that in my childhood over any of those memories. I absolutely loved every minute of me playing hockey. Of course, you mature and things happen, but that's another long story. That shouldn't even be a podcast. That should be like a novel. So, like I said, expensive. And of course, hockey's expensive. But you understand Melrose is a city where it's maybe 10, 15 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago, the Boston Globe rated Melrose as one of the nicest places to raise a family. So you had all these people move in with families. Now, I was in Melrose. I moved out in 2009. My family did. So all of us did. So we went to different areas of the state, but one thing that always and I've said this in my podcast before, and I said this in Washed Up Goalies podcast. This is, the OxyContin was just so bad. And even though I never partaked, plenty of kids who had money, who had mom and dad, was doing it. So it's like, fuck the hockey, let's do oxys. And that's kind of where, I don't know how Melrose was ranked a great place. I mean, there's so many OxyContin deaths, it's ridiculous. But anyways, that's besides the point. I feel like Melrose kind of got rid of those people, and they got pushed out, and they got replaced by, like, families, but who have money, lawyers, doctors, execs, and it's kind of become, like, very bougie a little bit. Quiet, but it's bougie. And it was always like that, but it had changed a little bit during the Oxys, but now it's kind of, when I was there, it was kind of bougie. Now it's like, 100 times bougie. So, people have money. People have nice cars. I think the average salary is somewhere in the 80,000 to like 90,000. The average house, anywhere between 700,000 and over $1 million. I mean, that's property value, but it's also Melrose. I mean, you're 20 minutes north of Boston, so you gotta, figure all that in. I mean, crime, there's no crime. People have jobs. I mean, you might have some bad eggs, but it doesn't everywhere. So, I play in Haverhill. I play in a skate with a bunch of older guys, this and that. So, Monday, I get an email, and it didn't rub me the wrong way. And I'm not trying to be a Karen or anything. I'm not trying to, be an asshole about it. But I just can't help it. It rubs me the wrong way. So, it's an email that's titled, Request for Donations for Melrose Youth Hockey versus the Boston Bruins alumni in a game April 6th. I'm going to read the email. I'm not going to mention names. Hello. As many of you may know, I have no shot of ever playing NHL hockey. However, it seems I've found work around to play with NHL caliber players other than blank. If I raise $1,000, I will be able to buy the privilege of letting some Bruins alumni make me look foolish. At the Flynn Rink on April 6th at 10 a.m., Friends of Melrose Youth Hockey will play the Bruins alumni / Boston Bruins Foundation to raise money from Melrose Youth Hockey. Proceeds of this event will provide access to a youth hockey program of approximately 300 children ages 4 through 17 who resides within the city of Melrose, Massachusetts. This program provides an opportunity for kids to participate in low cost, to learn to skate, and to learn to play hockey programs as well as formal teams. Lifelong hockey player, coach, referee, I'm doing this to give back to the program that started my kids on their hockey journey. Any donations would be greatly appreciated. And then it just goes on to say the link. And as a special offer, the highest donation from the group will receive Sunday Skaters sweatshirt hoodie. Second and third highest donation will be given a goal next time I'm in net. I don't even think this guy plays goalie, but anyways, I just laugh at that because Melrose Youth Hockey has money. They're just full of shit. I mean, maybe the numbers are down. I mean, a lot of kids don't want to fucking play hockey. They want to be on the tablets. Yeah, I'll play hockey by pressing X. Yeah, the Bruins are cool. I'll go to games. I'll sit, good seats because my dad can afford them. Fine. But not a lot of people want to play hockey. And a lot of people don't know how to skate. And this kind of goes back to what I said earlier. Like, yeah, I always loved hockey, but I can never skate. And I never wanted to play. And then they get into it when they're like, in their late 30s or 40s. It kind of amazes me when I see that. It's actually quite entertaining because my whole life, growing up in Melrose Youth Hockey, my parents used to talk. And listen, I'm going to say right off the fucking record, I don't give a shit about politics, race, religion. Don't ever fucking talk to me about that. I will just not answer you. It's how I feel. I talk about that with the wife, in my own house, closed doors with nobody around us. It's always a fight when I hear people talk about it. So what it boils down to is politics, and the politics within Melrose Youth Hockey. I remember my mother and father used to have discussions in front of us as we're getting our hockey stuff put away. And then my father would say, it's politics, Kay. It's politics in Melrose Youth Hockey. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? I never could understand that. I know, I'm stupid, right? It took bucks to the head. You know, I don't even know where to start. I mean, it might be a money thing. You know, say, the buy-in's $500 a kid. Okay. And then 25 kids, now you got some extra money. What does Melrose Youth Hockey do with it? We're going to take only, certain players that we like to a Boston Bruins game. It was shit like that. It goes A, B, C team. I was usually on the C team. I was on the B team a couple times, but I never made it to A. But they always use the same goalie on A, so that was something to remember. But I was like, why do they use the same goalie for A? Because that's, one of the coaches' son. So, shit like that. Was he good? I mean, was he good? Yeah. Was he great? No. I mean, could I have played on that team? Probably. But no, that's his spot, because that's the coach's son. So, I think my best example is this kid, Kevin. His father was a doctor in town at the local hospital. Whatever, fine. Kevin sucked at hockey. He was terrible. He was fucking awful. He played defense because he couldn't really play. So he played with me for a couple of years in squirts, and he was terrible. I remember this one time in Kasabuski, the rink, we were playing a game, and the puck got stuck in his fucking skates, legitimately in the skate, and he couldn't find the puck. He was looking around. It was like something out of the Three Stooges. It was slapstick comedy at that point. So, oh my god, and I think we ended up winning that game too. But I remember people were trying to hack at him, and he's like, "What the fuck?" But he could play, but he wasn't good. That's why they put him on defense. He couldn't backtrack. He couldn't really skate fast. So his father got a promotion within the hospital. He became the president. And then that's when he started making the A team. He was on the best team. That's the politics. It doesn't matter how good you are at hockey. It's who you are. And it really didn't affect me. I didn't really care. I was just like, Kevin's on the A team. I'm on the C team. But he's not even that good. I just never questioned it. I mean, it is what it is. When I reached the end of my youth career and I started going selects, that's when my little brothers kept playing, and that's when the money kind of funneled back into the Melrose Youth Hockey program. My little brother got a custom helmet with Melrose colors. It's red. Got a bag, would get clothes, so it's I never had that. Where was the money? It's one of those things where, yeah, it's politics. It's no, fuck you. We're gonna do it this way. I really can't talk bad about Melrose Youth Hockey because they gave me so much. I unfortunately had a long career, but it did kind of get off the rails, and that's a whole different. Like I said, that's a fucking novel. I can't even talk about that in a freaking 25, 30 minute, or even an hour podcast. I had a huge fight with the coach, and coach I had for 2 years. And most of the coaches I had for 2-3 years. So I only went through maybe 4 coaches. I just, the memories I have, the stories I can tell, and I've mentioned a couple of them on the podcast, but, Melrose is pretty, they're not a poverty, city like a Roxbury or Dorchester, Metro West. And I know Patrice Bergeron teamed up with one of the banks in Boston, gives money to, low-income families to get them to play hockey. That's where I understand. That's where, hey, you know what? This kid, get him away from the bad, areas, put him in the hockey rink, get him into something. And it's the, I don't know the saying, but you want to get them out of that situation. And I'm trying to put my words together here. You don't want them to join a gang or, steal cars or, be bad. put them in hockey. But how are you going to put them in hockey? They're low income. Bruins, alumni raises money, gives money. I get that. But that's in Dorchester, Roxbury, those low-income areas of Boston. Fucking Melrose, Massachusetts, where there's probably maybe the population of, black people, Spanish people, Middle Eastern, maybe like 8%. So I'm just like laughing. I'm like, why does Melrose Youth Hockey need fucking money? And then I'm kind of like, well, it's just this guy, hey, I want to be in an alumni game, so give me money. It's kind of e-begging too, because he took the email list from our Haverhill skate and just sent out a mass email, and he only got like 2 responses. And at this present day, so it says you need $1,000 to play. I didn't think that was true. I thought it was $500 to play, because I was actually offered a spot back in like 2012, 2013. And even then, that's a lot of money to play in a hockey game. And it was 3 goalies, by the way. So you'd only play for 1 period. So $500 to play 1 period against old Bruins players? I'd rather spend $500 on goalie equipment. As much as I love the Bruins, I don't think I could do that. So, I'm loading the page right now. Yeah, as of today, he's up to 527. I'm just looking at so they're gonna so from what I know is with the Bruins alumni, it costs basically you rent them out and you get the free ice. So the Flynn rink would donate the ice time, but all proceeds go to Melrose Youth Hockey. Which do they really fucking need them? That's the biggest question. Do you fucking need them? You live in a $700,000 house, and it's like, we need money. What? No, you don't want to spend your money. Plus, no kid wants to fucking play hockey. They want to play fucking tablets. They want to fucking be on video games. They don't give a shit about ice hockey. Majority of kids don't. We didn't have that stuff when I was in the 90s. You had a Game Boy. If the batteries died, shit. You're out of luck for a week after Dad goes to the, Circuit City. If anyone remembers Radio Shack and gets batteries. But, why do you need money? You live in a $700,000 house. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm dead serious. And that's one thing about my family. We weren't rich. We struggled. But, we were still able to play. And I'm grateful for that. It's if you want something, you make it happen. I don't really see many low-income houses in Melrose, Massachusetts. So I just think this is just a e-begging. If you want to look up e-begging, look up the straight dope on e-begging on YouTube. It explains everything. But I was kind of floored because I'm like, why is somebody from Melrose asking for money? But I just think this is just an e-begging attempt of, hey, I want to get on the ice and play an alumni game. That's it. So do you really give a shit? So like I said earlier, I trailed off a little bit, but with the Bruins alumni, and I know this from one of the trainers, it costs $5,000 to rent them. So it's $5,000. If you want Ray Borker, it's another X amount. So it's $5,000 to rent them. So what is it? $5,000. So you're raising $1,000. So $500 goes to your spot probably, and then $500 goes to the donation. And of course they have a raffle and all this bullshit and all that crap. So I bid to those games. I don't know yet if I want to go to this game. It's on a Saturday. I usually work Saturdays, but here's $20 to Melrose Youth Hockey. I might want to bring my daughter. I don't know yet, but then at the same time, I don't know if I want to support them. I don't want them to take my fucking money. Who are you again? My parents put in thousands of dollars at Melrose Youth Hockey. Now I'm going to go watch these broken down, Beer leaguers play the fucking broken down Bruins alumni for $20. Yeah, we'll see. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful. I am so lucky. I can't say privileged because I don't know. It's hard to say privileged, but I feel that I am definitely different than most goalies. That didn't grow up playing, and I'm very grateful that I got to grow up and play hockey on the youth level, move into like a select level, move into a level where like I never was gonna make the pro, but I still was having fun, and then it became not fun, and then you took your break for 10 years, and then now you're a beer leaguer. So I have no regrets with hockey. The only regret I have with hockey is quitting hockey. That was the youth. I mean, we don't talk about high school. So, Melrose Youth Hockey did a lot for me. And I'm grateful for my opportunity with them. But it makes me a little sick to see them asking for money for all the shit that they used to pull. It's like, yeah, no, I'm good. And I know hockey's so expensive, but I'm like, come on. When you live in a $700,000 house in fucking Melrose, Massachusetts, get the fuck out of here. You're full of shit. So, hopefully, everyone enjoyed my rant on Melrose Youth Hockey. As always, thanks for listening. Cheers.